Hi, welcome friends. It's me, She again. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. We're in a 7 energy when we add up the numerology of the day, which means we're in a confidence. I got to tell you, my last reading was very emotional. I've had a very emotional week. So in order to prepare for this reading, I really had to ground myself because these cards are very powerful. These energies right now we're in are powerful. So I really had to take some time for grounding. And when I say grounding, it means getting my roots, my emotions, my energy on an even balanced keel. Have all my chakras in some kind of balance. So I've kind of done a different preparation for our reading today so we could tap into these energies. I'm going to go over it real quick because I really want to get into these cards and see where we are. We're still in a transformation mood of energy because we're still in the month of October. We're coming upon a very interesting, striking energy of Scorpio. And being in this intense Scorpion energy means transformation, transformation, transformation. So the new moon that is coming around the 27th in the next 4 days, get ready for it because it is time to lift the veil between earth or the lower worlds and spirit, the higher worlds. So that, and then but again, if you've been doing the work, you've been working on the healing, you've been working on problem solving, meaning solving patterns in your life that may have not been serving you well. It means purging those patterns, getting rid of those obsessions, getting rid of those people, places, and things or habits that you have been thinking it's a part of your process of healing. Because what Scorpio means, we're moving into the energy of the planetary energies that surrounds the astrology of Scorpio. That means it's time for transformation. And we've been talking about destiny. We've been talking about being on your life's journey, your path, your true destiny for why you are here at this time, in this moment in time. And I think every single soul that has ever walked this earth, a lot of people who are on this journey and path believes that every single soul is here now. That's why we have so many people on Mother Earth. The reason why the planet is so crowded is because every single soul is here because it's time for major, major change. 2020, we talked about it. 2020 is bringing in massive final conclusions to change. Anything and everything you want, it's time now for you to gather and reap the harvest. Saturn is coming back into play along with Jupiter and Pluto, it is time, guys. I don't know how to explain this any clearer. I hope you've been doing the work. So the stones that are actually energizing our cards are representation of October energy. So if you want to feel these energies, get these energies moving in your life, moving in the work you've been putting in so you can start to see results, make sure you have pink that is symbolized or represented in your life. Make sure you also have right now the traits of Libra as well as Scorpio resonating through your wardrobe, your jewelry, your home, your environment. So we're talking about marigold or citrine. We're talking about pink. Marigold, for me, is very important during this time of month. One of my favorite all-time painters or Renaissance heroes that kind of depicted in his work is the Van Gogh exhibit that I went to see, which was very important for me earlier this month. I told you I went to the museum and I went to see Van Gogh. I also had the blessing of seeing Van Gogh in Paris at the Musée d'Orsay. So being in energy and looking at his paintings, I literally could see the pain in his strokes. So one of the famous paintings right now that is being talked about, that's a symbol of marigold, is the famous painting of the sunflowers. I'm using our energy, our Reiki energy, the power of the energy here in our hands and in this color to energize and help us get the energy we need so that Pablo Picasso can come through our life as a painter. We can tap into the energies of Julia Roberts. Her birthday is also coming up in the next few days on the 28th, as well as Bill Gates. And we know those are very powerful figures. And we're going to throw in there the rapper Drake is coming up. His birthday is tomorrow. And these are very successful people within their own modalities, their own healings, their own patterns, their own destinies, their own success. So we can tap into these energies right now. Do I need to tell you about the power of a pyramid or an obelisk in this citrine color and how it will, bring the colors of fall, lemon into our life? This is the season we're coming up on October 31st here in the United States and Europe, where they're celebrating Oktoberfest. And Oktoberfest also means costumes, dressing up. Some people call it Halloween. Some people just call it good time fun. So we're going to join in this fun time and the colors of fall to help promote cheerfulness and joy. Last but not least is this beautiful tourmaline pink heart chakra, which is going to take us into our heart chakra. Our heart chakra sits right between the breastbone, just above the breast. So we're talking about love and self-acceptance. Self-care, self-care. I can't say it enough. Self-care, self-care, self-care. We all can use self-care. Self-care does not discriminate against anybody. Everybody, everyone can find clarity, transparency, and just a pure love of the Pink Panther and understanding the power of the opal diamond and the Pink Panther during this season of October and Scorpio. The Scorpio sting, guys, is intense. It's a very intense energy. And when it comes to sting you, that means it's time for transformation. It's time that you must leave something behind or you will be left behind yourself. So it's time to purge those patterns, create healing, get rid of obsessions or not allow obsessions to come into your life right now during this period of the Scorpion sting. Scorpion men and women are very passionate, but at the same time, they can be a little reserved. They sit back and they observe their surroundings And they notice everything. Some things we don't see. A scorpion in a room will see what's going on. He'll also see inside your soul, because that sting will pierce the veil and see what's going on around them. And that includes you. And if you make them jealous, if you make their sting come out in a rage of jealousy or resentment, or just pure anger, that sting could be deadly. So when you're around a scorpion, make sure you are aware that there's a scorpion in the room. So I've been grounding myself for the last 2 hours in meditation, and actually feeling these cards. And these cards have been really slipping through my hands in the last 2 hours. And it's certain cards I just kept seeing over and over again. So we're going to see if they're going to come out in this energy, so we know how to handle this new moon that's coming up. So and now is the time, guys, to prepare for 2020, October. We have 3 months left in 2019. And the year, if you have been doing your own research, you can see for yourself. All astrologers, scientists, people who are involved in predicting the future, or taking a look at what's to come in 2020 for us. And it's not in any specific place, but it's the energies of the earth. They have been saying and predicting that 2020 is the year of massive, massive change. And that massive, massive change is harvest time, because the earth has been going through its own change itself. We've been talking about, and if you look at the global news, they're talking about worldwide, about the earth itself and how we have polluted it, how we put animals and Mother Nature herself in danger. But it's time for Mother Nature now to come back and look at us and wake up, along with that Father Saturn planet that starts the end of December going into January of the new year. And if you're not prepared for this powerful transformation, that you won't have a choice. We're all going to go through it, every single one of us. But the choice is it faith or is it destiny? And how much do you put into that faith, and how much work you have been putting into your own destiny will come to fruition in 2020. So we got quite a few cards that came, and I think I am finished shuffling because those last few cards that dropped there is it. And I just wanted to make sure. I want to make room and make sure that you guys can see these cards, because it looks like some strong cards have popped out on us. I'm feeling these cards, guys, and I'm going to shuffle again, because I felt like the cards were saying no. So we're going to do it again. I've been grounding myself listening to Carlos Nakai. If you happen to hear the music that is playing in the background, it has been playing in the background now for some time. Grounding me. I also do essential oils along with my candles. I use a meditation from the spa room called grounding as well as essential oil of meditation. For those of you who are interested in finding some of the tools and things that I use, or some of you who come and visit me and smell the aromas, the spa room are the aromas, then I find they're organic. I love the most. I also interpret dreams. Been having some very vivid dreams of my own. I don't know if you guys have been having vivid dreams yourself, but if you're interested in having your dream interpreted through the cards, as well as my own visual and gifted seeing that comes through when we talk, you may contact me at she@justbreathe.com. If you're interested in staying connected with these energies when a new video arrives, please subscribe. Subscribe is in the circle. Click on the circle and subscribe, or you can also subscribe below. Or click like as well. Okay, I think we've got our cards, guys. I felt at peace with that shuffle. So I'm going to put our cards to the side here. These are the cards that came out first. And, oh wow, that's quite a bit of cards here. And I'm going to lay these babies on top. Okay, here we go. Let's see, where are we? Wow, the rattle. And we're starting off with the energy of today, which is a 7-day. And 7 in numerology is confidence. Scorpions are water, element of water. The element of water in your traditional tarot is under the cups. So whatever energies that we're in right now, when we're talking about emotions, we're talking about things that are happening in weeks. So it's not today or tomorrow, but over the next week. And I'm adding this into our energy readings because I've had some feedback about when am I expecting these energies to appear. So if you're just watching this video or just joining us, whatever time you come in to this video, whatever date you come into this video, could be sometime in the future, could be sometime way next year that you discovered this video. So look at this energy at that time that it resonates with you, that this energy of the rattle is coming into weeks from now. So when we see this card of the rattle that has showed up now, the rattle is a spirit caller. And I told you we're now in the spirit of, or the zodiac of the Scorpion in October, November. So the next few weeks that run through the Scorpion sign, which will be most of November and the latter part of October. We're calling the Great Spirit. And so when you're talking about making noise for prayer or rattling the earth, getting the attention, the medicine says that your desired destiny is in your future. So now is the time to really go into prayer. And when you go into prayer, you're offering in prayer. You're not just praying for your desires and your needs, but you're praying for the highest good in everything, and that we all will be provided for. So at this time, you want to catch God on the whisper. not on a shout. You want to try to make sure your own desires and expectations are already, and understand that they're already standing before you. And so the Creator now, with this rattle, is shaking things up. It's a tool so that it can serve a divine purpose. Do you get that, guys? It's a desired destiny that you are embodying in this rattle. And you're using the prayer of the 4 directions that we've been talking about now for the last 3 conversations. Go back if you need to and understand those 4 directions. Because those 4 directions is the key to your prayers being answered, to your call to spirit. And remember I said, being in Scorpion energy, that means that the veil of spirit is being lifted. When I say lifted, it's going to be lifted through your third eye, through your third chakra, which lies right between your forehead and above your eyes, or right between the eyes, and then drag your hand up towards your center of your head. That is where you will see spirit in meditation, in the breathing techniques that I've been sharing with you. And that is where you'll find all the answers to the how, what, when, and where your purpose, your highest good, and your destiny will be answered. The ghost dance. So, again, I shared that the music that I've been using to ground myself is R. Carlos Nakai. He also, Peter Cater, which I've mentioned before, is one of my favorite artists as well for meditation and just all around centering, and because he gets it. He is there already and living this auspicious life. So, the ghost dance of the American Indians, they unite spirits of the living with those of their ancestors to bring peace to our world. When the ancestors are honored, they bring harmony to us. So there's a little movie called Coco. If you haven't seen the cute little Disney movie, we talked about how do you find your childlike so that you can be into your godlike spirit. And I made a suggestion that you watch Disney movies. So Coco is one of those beautiful little movies that talk about ancestors. So when we honor our ancestors, we receive their lessons and their gifts. Because remember, they were here before. They were here in past lives. You were here in past lives. Your spirit was. And in order to honor our own lives and to get the ancestors to answer the message of healing for us, and right now, the power of healing is here in these energies for October under the sting of the scorpion. It is time for us to maybe go back and look at a few pictures, a couple of photos that you have of, some of those powerful ancestors that have filled your life with blessings, who prayed for you. And maybe light an incense or offer sage. And then open the window of your house to keep their destiny flowing in your life through the wind. So be wary, though, of someone from past who you may have loved but have hurt, and they may come back in the ghost of the dance. And so that is the time, if they do show up like in a dream or a vision, ask for their forgiveness. Because right now we want to create a sacred place or a powerful medicine so that you can heal all the ghosts that are frightening and bring the ghosts who are here to serve you and help you on your healing path before we get to 2020. That's what I meant by releasing and letting go of patterns, habits, or old wounds. And we have completion. And do you see the completion of the circle? All things have a beginning. So look at this circle. You know, this is, I've seen jewelry, I actually have jewelry of the snake swallowing his tail. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is the cycle of life. The seed grows the flower. The seed turns the flower into fruit. And so in the human condition, or our relationship with the movement or the completion of life, the cycle of life, means this is the moment of fullness, living a full life of the moment. And we are starting to transform from the old into the new. I started this reading, guys, with we're in a transformation moment. We're in the energies of the 528. And that energy for the next 3 months is meaning that we are finishing this cycle. So then there's no more growth, that we have arrived. It's time for celebration. When you come into next summer, when the fruit is ripened from the seeds, when the flowers are blossoming and blooming, your harvest should be complete. And I hope you are ready to enjoy these fruits, to living and understanding what it means to live an abundant life. Whew, wow. Wow. Completion. Here we have the middle world. And I'm sorry, that card was the number 9. And when we're talking about 9, we're talking about attainment, actually gathering and attaching and holding and attaining what you've worked for. The middle world. Again, it's a 9. I had to go back and mention the other card was a 9 because this card is also a 9 here in the middle world. Look at the tree. That tree is surrounded by a bubble. That tree has roots that are being revealed. That tree is also being exposed by the light of the sun. And when we talk about coming into enlightenment, waking up, this is the process that has revealed all things. can you see the birds flying above that bubble here in the middle world? The middle world is in that bubble because it's like a daydream or another realm, another reality that is living side by side with us. But at the same time, it's the present moment. So everything happens here in the middle world, means earth, that we are awakened to, that we actually see, because there's things that are seen and unseen. So now that the middle world is here and we are attaining favorable undertakings in our life, we are gathering and have gathered, and we have everything we need right here on earth, right now, and everything in heaven and earth right here in the middle. So if heaven is above air and earth is below, that means everything is rooted and in order. And that's what that bubble is around that tree. And the birds that are flying, meaning that there's plenty to eat. Within that bubble, everything is there within that tree of life. Do you get that? Do you understand that? Are you here with me? Are you understanding what it means to be complete, the completion here in the middle world? Our next card is the owl. And we always have creativities, guys. We always have, and it's like, use your imagination. Creativity. The owl sees everything. The owl knows everything. Because the owl is the master of night. So Athena has an owl. And it was said in Greek mythology that she can see situations with perfection and clarity, even in the dark. So that means when, okay, let's put it this way. Let's say there's some things that you're pondering and you're trying to figure out what's going on in your life. So think of a situation of what could be happening. Let's say you have a lover and your lover is being kind of like shady. There's something going on. You can't quite put your finger on what they're doing, but they're up to something shady. And so that's when the owl flies in. And she'll take you to like an invisible realm. And she will open your ears so you can hear the whispers. And at the same time, she'll make sure that your knowing, your gut instinct, your wisdom brings everything into the light. So that you become aware, that you become like a diamond, shining sharp, ready to look at these patterns in your life and decide what needs to go. So you can see clearly, so that you can move on and heal. And if maybe let's say your hunch or your your suspicions are wrong, that there's shadiness going on with your lover, that maybe your lover was trying to plan something special for you, then you will also come to peace and understanding that there's nothing to beware. There's nothing to guard against. There's no deception, but that the motives are pure and clear. That's what the owl brings into our lives for this energy now and forever. Because remember, you're moving towards destiny. You're moving towards healing. You're moving towards transformation. And transformation brings all of these gifts. And the owl's gift is a very powerful gift to have in your toolbox. Completion. This, oh my goodness, this spiral has been here and been in my third mind's eye, or since I've been touching these cards. Every time I shuffle, I saw this card. The spiral is here. So are we spiraling? There's a book I read this earlier this year, and I think it came out a couple of years ago, by Dan Brown. You know Dan Brown. Dan Brown is the guy who did Da Vinci's Code, but he did a book called Origins. And the cover of the book is some version of this without the color. So when the spiral comes up, it's like the galaxies from the sky when you look into the form of a shell. You ever picked up a seashell that tends to, or a snail, the snail shell on the beach, and it just has this nature, or that just keeps going, the shape and form that is coiled like the serpent, kind of like our card that was completion. And this spiral, or they call it sacred geometry, has been used since ancient time as a tool for growth and transformation. So I can't make this up, guys. The Scorpion season is here. Do you understand what transformation and what it means to complete your guide or your consciousness into the unknown of your psyche, meaning to renew yourself, go down into the depths of the spiral, and make sure you're breaking those habits and all those faults that happen in nature, so you can trust the guide and the journey of renewal when you go down into a spiral of rebirth. When you descend in the depths of rebirth, that you just let go, release the energy to give birth to a new reality. This card is a 5. It means transformation. It means change. It's happening. It's happening now. It's happening over the next few weeks. Remember, I said cups. Scorpio is water. It is cups. The other signs of cups are Cancer and Pisces. We talked about the elements of water. And water is emotion. We all have to deal with water. We all have to deal with all 4 elements, which is water, air, earth, and fire. But water, you cannot escape, because we all have to wake up in the morning, brush our teeth, bathe ourselves, and our bodies are made up of, I've heard 95, 97, but either way, it's mostly water. And so when you can balance that emotion and how you deal with the day, because you start the day in peace, you start the day in quiet. So when the sun comes up, that is the best time to have some contemplation, prayer, meditation, so that you can balance your emotions. So you choose how you deal with the world around us, the earth itself, and its water. The council is here. It's a number 11. And remember, we don't break down the 11 into twos, because the number 11, 1, 11, 11, 11, 11 is a very powerful and sacred number. It's a spiritual number. It's spirit. And this energy started off with that in the next few weeks is your time, your opportunity to literally look into the veil between this world and the next on a higher level. The council are a luminous beings. They hold all the wisdom of humanity. They've been here before. They actually walked this earth. Look at her. Look at the beauty of this being, the pureness of this being. And so the council ones are here to help us cross into the world of spirit. It's life in review, guys. It is time for everybody to take bad deeds or habits to the divine realm, so that we are giving and living with love and forgiveness and gratitude. And this is the time to claim our own inner wisdom. They're here to gift us. The council is here to say you're not alone. You are being guided if you will just seek and listen to that little voice that rises on the wind. It is time to eat at the feast of the council, to take in all that wisdom and all that knowledge that just lies just above, just ahead of yourself in the spiritual realm. Oh my goodness, the council. Whew. This is why I had to ground myself before this reading, because I think all the power makers, all the power is here in this reading, this time, and it will go with us for the next few weeks. We're back at this moon. We start this moon. This moon, this moon, this moon. And I said we're coming into the new moon around the end of this week, around the 27th. And this is going to be the most powerful new moon, because this new moon is in the element of water in the sign of Scorpio. This is our time. And remember, the full moon is every 28 days. So before the moon comes around again in November, in a fullness of her power, please know that this card is beckoning you, that is calling you to the journey of renewal. to be unstuck, to know for sure that you are in the ebb and the flow. You're flowing with the moon as it makes its cycle from dark to light, from full moon into all its other phases. You are in its flow. And so look at the beauty of this card and how the moon is in this dress. And when we add the card 3 and 7, it's 10. And it brings us to aces, the aces of the traditional tarot deck, or to 1, which means new beginnings. Aces are new beginnings. Aces are happening. This is happening continuously now. It never stops. Every 28 days. So if you're in the flow, every 28 days, you do get a chance to start over. But if you're in the flow, you're not starting over. You're just going from one cycle to the next, living in bliss of destiny. And you're living with all of these tools and gifts continuously. And every 28 days, you get a new gift instead of a start over. The moon. Holy Mountain is here. This card was here. I'm going to move it back, guys, because I got to put this card down so you can see these cards. Holy Mountain. Oh my goodness. It's back at a 7. Today is the day 7. And I can't even explain to you the days that I'm reading these cards, why I'm reading these cards. I just go with the flow and the call. When it's time for the energy to present a new, a new lesson, so to say, or a new way of staying in the energy or on track when the energy is when the time of the Holy Mountain. So Native people around the earth recognize holy mountains and places of power that they encounter Holy Spirit gods or goddesses. So in ancient Greece, there was Mount Olympus, where they had 12 gods and goddesses. In Tibet, pilgrims go to Mount Kailash. That's a place I've wanted to visit myself. And they believe that it brings prosperity. And not just Tibetans, but people all over the world make a pilgrimage. And I've heard stories of, people from Europe, doctors, lawyers from the States who have altered their entire life after visiting this holy mountain in Nepal. In Peru, pilgrims climb the ice-capped mountain, August Gate, so they can receive some kind of light or starlight. And that they believe that the starlight brings fire to earth. And guys, when we see that the fires are burning, the fires have to burn. It has to clean and clear away all that deadness that is no longer needed, that's actually blocking the way. So when your chakras are being cleansed, they're literally being burnt away. They're being burnt at, chopped at, ashes, like the phoenix rising, so that you can have clear vision, clear perspective. You can see all the land below and above, just like when Jesus went to the mountain and fed with 2 loaves of bread and a few fishes, thousands of people. And it's saying that you have the commitment in your life to walk with courage, love, and compassion. That is what the holy mountain, when you take that walk, and it doesn't have to be physical because it's shown up in the energy, that your pilgrimage is on the inside, that you can feel and see the blessings of this mountain now. Whew, wow. 7, confidence. You have the confidence to make this commitment. The win. I tell you, I feel like these cards are just 6 and 3, a 10. Break it down to that 1. And again, it's new ideas, it's aces, it's happening. It's on the win now. We had this card before, guys. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this card because we did spend a lot of time on this card in a previous reading. The wind, I talked about the wind, the whispers of the wind. And I've also mentioned the wind in this reading. So we're going to go back to, I talked about the elements of air. It rules communication, thought, music or song, and it's inspiring ideas, creativity, change. And remember, when the wind blows from the 4 directions, you have to understand when the wind is blowing in your life, when the wind is calling, when spirit is calling you, it's a sign of change. When the wind blows, I think I shared this story before. When the wind blows, how do you go? Where do you go when the wind blows? I'm going to leave it at that. That's a riddle. It's a riddle, guys. When the wind blows, what do you do? The Rainmaker. 4 and 2 is 6. So we always have a 6, and 6 is perseverance. So we just had the rain. Now we got the wind. Now we have the rain falling all around us. So perseverance. So when you persevere through these challenges, when you persevere with these energies, and the rainbow will come out. So remember when they say, okay, rainbow or rainmaker. I don't know why I want to say rainbow, but it's rainmaker. The Rainmaker is a masterful dance. You see her beauty and her moves, her wings, how she's reaching. She's reaching to bring down manifestation. The Rainmaker is a master of manifestation. So when you call on the elements of nature, like the wind, earth, fire, air, water, earth, fire, you are asking nature to serve the greater good. You're asking nature to give you the power to co-create with the beauty of its earth for the benefit to flow for us all. The first card, the rattle, talked about the common good and for the good of us all here on earth. So the power of this Rainmaker is not just for your personal gain or your personal manifestation, but it's for everyone. Because when one of us suffers, we all suffer one way or another. We all are connected. The Rainmaker is asking us to get ready, to prepare our life, and make sure that the work you're doing, the seeds that you're planting, that you do it from the heart. So when the sun comes forth in its light, it will help grow and light your seeds. When you think of flowers, the rain comes to water the earth, the plants, to feed them. And when the sun comes out, they all reach out of the ground towards the sun. We need the Rainmaker and the master of the Rainmaker in his dance to help us to grow. Wow, what a beautiful card. Oh, no wonder I kept seeing the rainbow. Look at that, guys. A rainbow is here. I couldn't make this stuff up. Oh my God, how beautiful is that? Look at the rainbow and its colors. So, have you ever been so blessed to lay your eyes upon a double rainbow? The rainbow symbolizes the 7 steps of a true spiritual path, which manifests as the colors of the 7 chakras. I can talk about the chakras. The chakras in the Himalayas is the rainbow body. It's not the rainbow that we see that is created through our atmosphere, but it is connected to us through that energy. The rainbow also represents the bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. And remember, I said this month, moving between now and the 31st of the month, the veil is lifted. And so you can journey and actually see into the highest heavenly realms right now. But you have to do it in dream or meditation. So the rainbow says it's the end of the storms. The storms, the lightning, the storm, the tornadoes we've been having, this Nestor that just came through the Gulf of Mexico, all of this bad winter storms, meaning the storms of our lives, is over. And now is the time for your chakras to be balanced. And guys, you need to set up an appointment, whether with myself or with anyone who does chakra balancing. I would say before the end of the year, and that means the end of the year gets really, really busy because life get hectic because of all the holidays and the celebrations. It's going to get harder and harder to get a balancing energy alignment put in. But I'm going to encourage you to see someone who does Reiki balancing, chakra balancing. And I'm just going to briefly go through your chakras. And I'm going to start with the root. Your root chakra is your money, your career, everything that happens outside. Then we move up to your sacral chakra. And that sits just below it. So if your root chakra is your organs that sits down in your sexual genitalia, we move up to the sacral chakra, which moves right above that pelvic bone. That is your sexuality and your pleasure. Then we move up right at the belly button. That's your solar plexus. That's your personal power. And that's your ability to channel, your life force. We move further up into the middle of the chest. That's your heart chakra. That's your love, how you love, your relationships, how you even love and accept yourself. We move into the throat chakra. And that is about how you express your sword, your communication. We move from there to your third eye, your intuition, your sense of direction in life, your purpose in life. And then your crown chakra is how you connect to the divine. And in order to see in that veil of spirituality, you do need to have your rainbow body. Your rainbow. Your beautiful colors of rainbow. And the chakras represent, if you just look at a rainbow after the rain, after a storm, the sun is out, you will see a rainbow. Or sometimes there's precipitation in the air. And people say that the history of the rainbow is that there's a leprechaun with the treasure at the end of the rainbow. And when they say that old tale of story, it has truth, truth, truth. At the end of your rainbow body lies your treasures, all your jewels, your rubies, your diamonds, your pearls. They all lie within inside. And now is the time to balance them, understand them, so that you can carry the pearl of life, the great blue pearl of wisdom, of spirit, and live it every day in harmony and peace. Those are our cards, guys. This was a very, very strong, grounding reading. It came and unfolded perfectly how I started it with the intent. I can't make this stuff up. And if you don't see it happening in your life, that's because of two things. One, faith and believe. You have to have faith in something, and you have to believe in something. And if you don't have faith, and if you don't believe, it's time to go back to being a child when life was innocent and sweet. Go watch a Disney movie. Go spend time singing with a child, or go do childlike things with a lover, so that you can find the child of your love in your life in the mirror. Until the next time, I truly, truly bless you, mind, body, and soul. Namaste.